हेलो।
अभी बना
भाई कर तो सही। संदीप संदीप शर्मा।
यस सर।
यू आर प्रेजेंट।
यस सर। कोई दिक्कत होगी गुरुजी?
नहीं कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी।
टीचर नहीं है, हिमांशु है।
आई नो, और ये भी सीआर सर है ना, तो रेस्पेक्ट देना अच्छा लगता है।
ओह माय गॉड, सीआर को रिस्पेक्ट।
इसमें ओ माय गॉड की क्या बात है?
बड़े अच्छे हैं हमारे गोलू मोलू से सीआर।
हाँ, ऐसे सीआर हर किसी को नहीं मिलते ना।
आने वाले हैं तो आपको
गोलू मोलू सीआर हमारी क्लास में ही है बस।
संदीप आकाश कहाँ
एक
है?
श्रुति मैम होगी और हिमांशु सर होगी।
ज्यादा गोलू मोलू है।
संदीप
हाँ,
आकाश कहाँ है? आकाश मीटिंग ज्वाइन नहीं कर रहा है?
आकाश की ज्वाइनिंग हो रही यार, वहां में तो लग रहा हूँ मैं।
तो ज्वाइन क्यों नहीं हो रही?
पता नहीं प्रॉब्लम दिखा रहा है कुछ।
आईटी सपोर्ट को मेल कर दे।
आईटी सपोर्ट का गलगोटिया ये मेल
संदीप
करूँ
भाई।
जाके अब। हाँ बहन।
ओ संदीप,
हाँ
व्हाट्सएप
बहन।
देख लो, मैं मैसेज कर रही हूँ। मैं बता रही हूँ कैसे सही होगा, व्हाट्सएप देख लो तो।
देख रहा हूँ।
सर नहीं आया अभी।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
Very good
सर
morning, students. Very good morning.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग
Good
सर।
morning. Good morning,
Good
all,
morning,
sir.
sir.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Very good morning. Hmm.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग संदीप।
सर चले गए यार अभी।
यस, गुड मॉर्निंग संदीप।
गुड मॉर्निंग गुड मॉर्निंग गुड मॉर्निंग।
गुड मॉर्निंग मतलबी।
गुड मॉर्निंग मोटे।
क्या बात है, क्या बात है?
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
गुड
Yes,
मॉर्निंग
sir.
सर।
Okay.
यस सर।
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So I will directly start the topic. I think
Good morning,
last
sir.
and final confirmation. Can you see the PowerPoint? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So let me take a screenshot. Let me take your attendance. So I purposefully waited for 5 minutes actually because many students are coming lately. Anyway, so I downloaded the attendance. Everything is fine. So coming to the point. So we are in the we are studying anatomy and physiology. So in the anatomy and physiology, we discussed about the structure of cell. Then we discussed about the tissues, the definition of tissues and types of tissues. So in the if you see the syllabus in the unit 1, we have cell structure, cell organelles, cell division such as mitosis, meiosis. Then we have tissues definition, tissues classification, and different types of tissues and their functions. Different types of tissues such as we have epithelial tissue, connective tissue, then we have muscular tissue and nervous tissue, then we have blood composition. So these are the topics in unit 1. And in the last lecture, we started with the definition of anatomy. Then we discussed about the definition of physiology. Then we discussed about the organization of life. Then we discussed about the differences between eukaryotic cells and the prekaryotic cells. Then we discussed about the various types of cells present in the human body. Then we discussed in detail about the structure of cell. We discussed about the cell organelles and their functions. Then we discussed just a second. I think again I got a problem. These computers, we can't trust these computers. It was stopping. Anyway, then we started discussing about types of tissues. So tissues means they are the group of cells. So a group of cells will make a tissue. So what can you tell me the types of tissues, students? What are the types of tissues we have in our body? Tell me the types of tissues. The names. Yes, tell me the four types.
of tissues are there, na, sir?
Connective tissues, epithelial tissues, muscular tissues,
nervous tissue.
Very good. So we have epithelial tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue, and the epithelial, connective, nervous, and muscle tissue. Very good. Muscle tissue. Yes, muscular tissue. So I hope the PowerPoint is visible. Can you see the cell picture on your screens?
Yes,
On
sir.
your mobile screens?
Yes,
sir. Yes, I'm moving forward. So these are the four types of tissues we have. We have epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. So we discussed in detail about epithelial tissue in the last class. Anyway, I will do revision again of epithelial tissue. So let me go directly to the epithelial tissue. Okay, so in this epithelial tissue, we have broadly classified depending upon their two categories. One is
सर
their
आपकी आवाज
shape
नहीं आ रही सर.
You can't understand me. Now you can understand. Okay, I think let me turn on the captions.
आवाज सर क्लियर है. तो क्लियर है आवाज.
Clear है sir आवाज.
Yes, it
So
is
your voice
clear.
is clear. You are audible.
Yes, sir. Clear है.
Yes, I'm continuing. So please, I have very less time to finish this topic. Okay, okay. So the time is 11:40, and coming to the epithelial tissue, students, keep in mind I forgot to tell one important point in the yesterday's class. Okay, what is the point is whenever we are drawing the tissues or whenever we are drawing the cells or their tissue structures, we always need to keep a dot in the center, a blue color dot in the center, and that indicates nucleus. That indicates it is a living cell. Only living cell will have the nucleus. So whenever you are drawing the cell structures, you must keep a dot like this. If we are not keeping nucleus, that indicates it is a dead cell. Only living cells will have the nucleus. So that is why whenever you are drawing cells in your notebooks or in the exam papers, you must keep a dot for each and every cell. Is that point clear for everyone? You must keep a dot for each and every cell. Presence of nucleus indicates it is a living cell. Okay, that is a very basic but important point. Okay, so now coming to the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is the tissue that is present on the outer membranes of the internal organs and our body. So all our coverings, the outer coverings, are made up of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is also called as wear and tear tissue. Wear and tear tissue means where there will be more cell damage, where there will be more friction, where there will be more stress, in those areas there will be epithelial tissue. And the epithelial tissue has another property that it can be easily generated. We can prepare easily, epithelial tissue can easily grow. So that is a major benefit. Even if we lost epithelial tissue, it can be easily recoverable. We can easily replace that epithelial tissue within a short period of time. So that is the beauty of this epithelial tissue. So coming to the classification of epithelial tissue, this epithelial tissue was broadly classified into two categories. One is depending upon the shape and second one is depending upon the arrangement. So coming to the shape, we have 5 shapes totally. We have squamous epithelial cells, then we have cuboidal epithelial cells, then we have columnar epithelial cells, ciliated epithelial cells, and the transitional epithelial cells. Transitional epithelial cells will change their shape and morphology depending upon the stress. Depending upon the stress, they will change their shape. So squamous cells typically present in the skin, mouth, and blood vessels, whereas cuboidal cells present in the salivary glands, columnar cells present in the stomach, and ciliated cells present in the lungs, whereas transitional epithelial cells will present inside in the muscle tissue of the urinary bladder. So these are the types of epithelial cells depending upon their shape. Then coming to their arrangement, if they are in a single layer, if it is only a mono layer of cells, then that is called as simple epithelial tissue. If it is multiple layer, then it is called as stratified epithelial tissue. So here, when I'm discussing about a single layer epithelial tissue, again the naming is given like this. If it is a squamous epithelium, then it is called as simple squamous epithelium. If it is cuboidal, then it will be simple cuboidal epithelium, simple columnar epithelium, simple ciliated epithelium, and simple transitional epithelium. So this is how we will name them. If it is multi-layered, then we will add the stratified name. Stratified squamous epithelium, stratified cuboidal epithelium, stratified columnar epithelium, stratified ciliated, and stratified transitional epithelium. Other than this, we have a pseudo-stratified epithelium, which looks like a multi-layer cells, but basically they're a monolayer of cells because of their disarrangement, because of their irregular arrangement of cells. They looks like a multi-layered stratified epithelium, but that is a false stratified epithelium. That is why it is called as pseudo-stratified epithelium. Coming to the examples of each and everything, simple squamous epithelium present in the vagina, mouth, and skin, whereas stratified squamous epithelium present in the esophagus, in the neck, and in the skin of keratinized skin cells will have stratified squamous epithelium. Whereas simple cuboidal epithelium present in the kidney cortex, and stratified cuboidal epithelium present in the sweat glands, ducts, and most of the ducts will have the stratified cuboidal epithelium. Coming to the simple columnar epithelium, this simple columnar epithelium present in the small intestine, large intestine, stomach, and gastric glands are composed of simple columnar epithelium. Whereas stratified columnar epithelium is present in the conjunctiva of eye, parts of pharynx is made up of stratified columnar epithelium. By the way, when I say conjunctiva eyes, in the eyes we have color sensing structures in the eyes. Can anyone say the names of the structures?
Rods and cones.
Very good, rods and cones. So yes, rods and cones are made up of our stratified columnar epithelial cells. Okay, rods and cones are made up of stratified columnar epithelial cells. As we discussed in the yesterday's class, there is a specialized epithelial cells called the sensory epithelial cells. In the eyes, we have optical receptors, which are the rods and cones. Obviously, those rods and cones are made up of a sensory epithelial cells, which is basically stratified columnar epithelial cells. So that is the in-depth things about this epithelial tissue. Okay. Other than this, in the compared to all other cells, there is one particular interesting cell, which is the squamous cells. These squamous cells have a further classification. Squamous cells are broadly divided into two types depending upon their presence or absence of keratin. If the squamous cells has keratin, means then they are called as keratinized squamous cells. If the squamous cells don't have keratin, then they are called as non-keratinized squamous cells. So usually non-keratinized squamous cells present in the vagina, cornea, and mouth cavity, whereas keratinized squamous cells present in the skin, nail, hair, and the enamel of the tooth is composed of keratinized squamous epithelial cells. So basically our skins, nails, and the teeth, the enamel of the teeth is made up of keratinized squamous epithelial cells. Then coming to the transitional epithelium, I have given you one example, which is urinary bladder. Other than urinary bladder, transitional epithelium is also present in the uterus, where there will be a greater amount of stretchability, distensibility of the uterus when the baby is developing inside the pregnant woman. So even uterus is made up of this transitional epithelium. So these are the some major examples and their classification of epithelial tissue. If you still have any doubts, you can ask me, students, in this epithelial tissue. Is this epithelial tissue clear for everyone? Can I ask some questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
just tell me. Yeah. Can you give examples for cuboidal cells? Where does the cuboidal cells present? Cuboidal epithelial cells present. What is the location of cuboidal epithelial cells? Do you have any idea? Where does the cuboidal epithelial cells present in our body?
Kidneys.
Very
Salivary
good.
glands.
Salivary glands, actually. That is salivary glands. Very good. In the salivary glands, we will have the cuboidal epithelial cells. Stratified.
So in most of
Okay,
the glands
so-
are thyroid also.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you. I think Bansal. So cuboidal cells present in the kidney cortex and also salivary glands. Okay, fine. Then where does the ciliated cells present? Location of ciliated cells?
Lungs.
Lungs and trachea. Okay, very good. Then columnar cells present in?
Uterus.
Very what? Uterus, stomach. Okay, columnar
Yes, sir.
cells present in the intestine and stomach. Transitional epithelial cells present.
So in your notes, there is you have write the examples of a columnar. Wait, no, the slide that we study now. Yeah, no, this one, the back one.
Hmm.
Back
This
one.
one?
No,
This one.
yeah, this. So right, ciliated.
Yes. Yeah, these are even greater examples. Yes, in the lungs, basically, we will have this ciliated cells. Other than this, we have other examples such as tubercle of testis, movement of ovum, cuboidal cells. Okay, there are many examples, but I'm asking the basics here. Okay, and tell me the types of epithelial cells depending upon their shape. Tell me the names of those cells. Quick. Types of epithelial cells on their shape. Based on their shape, tell me the types of
Glandular.
epithelial cells.
Epithelial, columbus, squamous,
Hook.
ciliated.
Okay, squamous, cuboidal, columnar, then we have ciliated and the transitional. Then can you tell me the stratified epithelium types of stratified epithelium? Tell me the names of types of stratified epithelium. Yeah.
Stratified squamous epithelium, stratified columnar epithelium.
Very good. Stratified cuboidal epithelium. Yes, stratified ciliated epithelium and then we have pseudo-stratified transitional epithelium. Okay, pseudo-transitional epithelium. Okay, can you give examples for each and everything? That will be tough for you. Stratified cuboidal epithelium present in sweat glands. Stratified squamous is present in esophagus. Stratified columnar is present in the conjunctiva of eye. So this you need to memorize. Okay, students. So I hope the epithelial tissue is clear for you. Shall I move forward to the next tissue, which is connective tissue?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So get ready for another big story. So get ready with your brains. This paragraph, this is just the explanation of those tissues. Okay, this you can go through by yourself. Okay, I'm just passing these notes. Okay, so the next one is connective tissue, students. Really big topic. So get ready with your notes and pens. So is everyone paying attention, students? Is everyone there? Let me check how many present.
Yes, sir.
Only 35. Let me download that. And okay. So get ready for connective tissue. Okay, students. So coming to the connective tissue, So in the previous class, I have given you a very basic term that connective tissue is something that will connect some two organs or something. Any two will be connected by connective tissue. When I say any two, what those any two? What the types of connective tissue we have? So usually we have three types of connective tissue, students. This connection, this binding is made by three types of materials. The binding of any two things is made by different types of substances. So usually these binding materials are called as matrix. Matrix means it is like a framework. In this framework, we will bind everything. So connective tissue will act like a framework. The other name for framework will be matrix or the ground substance. So the connective tissue ground substance is called as matrix. Matrix is like a the medium where we will keep the cells, or the medium where we will attach something. So this matrix is made up of three components. Is that clear for you, students? What I said is clear for you or not?
Yes, sir.
Connective tissue.
Yes,
Yeah. Connective tissue is made up of a ground substance which is called matrix. This matrix you can visualize yourself like a mesh network. To this mesh only all cells will bind. Now I'm telling what are the three types of mesh networks we have in our body. What are the three types of matrix substances we have in our body. Now we have three types of matrix. Okay, those three ground substances include one is ground substance, second one fibers, and third one is cells. We have cellular connective tissue, we have fibers containing connective tissue, and we have some fluid state connective tissue which is called as ground substance connective tissue. For example, the ground substance connective tissue is glycoproteins, proteoglycans. They will themselves act as a connective tissue. Then whereas the fibers such as collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and reticular fibers, all these fibers will act as a connective tissue. Collagen fibers will present among the tissues. Elastic fibers will present in the blood vessels where there will be elastic property. Reticular tissue will present near where there will be more pores such as bone marrow. So reticular fibers we have, elastic fibers we have, collagen fibers we have. So fibers are also type of connective tissue. Then we have certain cells which will act as a connective tissue. Those cells include mast cells, areolar cells, adipocytes, and fibroblasts. So fibroblast, I will give example of fibroblast. Fibroblasts are the cells that will present in between the skin cells. All types of epithelial cells will be synthesized from the fibroblast. Fibroblast cells will act like a ground substance for synthesizing of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue will be synthesized or manufactured or produced by fibroblast. Fibroblast will present in between the skin cells. Fibroblasts, to be precise, they are the stem cells of skin. They are skin stem cells. Then second one is adipocytes. Adipocytes will present near where there will be in the visceral organs, to be precise. Adipocytes will present near the fat, where you need to keep the if you want to store the fat in that that fat is made up of adipocytes. Okay, in this adipocytes only fat will be preserved, and the advantage of fat is fat will act like an insulator to our body. Our internal organs will stay warm. We need to maintain our internal body temperature. That internal body temperature will be maintained by a layer of fat, layer, and that fat layer is made up of these adipocytes. So this fat layer will connect the skin and the visceral organs. So that is why it is categorized under the connective tissue. So adipocytes is one example of cells, connective tissue cells. Then we have areolar cells. Areolar cells means these are the cells where they will have air spaces, such as the cells present in the lungs, alveoli, the cells present in the lactating woman, in the breast, the woman who will produce milk. Those cells are made. Most of the glands are made up of areolar cells. And you have mast cells. Mast cells extensively works in their main role is for immunity. So these are the types of connective tissue matrix we have. So we have three types of matrix. One is ground substance, which is glycoproteins and proteoglycans. Second one is fibers. These fibers are of three types. One is collagen fibers, second one is elastic fibers, and third one is reticular fibers. Then coming to the cells, we have mast cells, areolar cells, adipocytes, and the fibroblast. Then what is the major function of this connective tissue? Kindly mute yourself.
Transfer nutrients and convey.
Let me mute them. Okay. So next I'm going to discuss about the connective tissue, the functions of connective tissue. So basically the major function will be binding and giving structural support to the internal organs. Connective tissue will bind any two things. Okay, so they will bind and they will give support to the internal structures. They will give protection to us. Then they will also act as a transport media. They will transport certain substances. For example, lipid soluble substances can only transported by lipid, and that lipids are stored in the adipocytes. So they will also play a role in transport of certain lipid soluble substances, and they will also obviously they will give insulation to our body. They will keep our body warm. So these are the major functions of connective tissue: to bind, to give protection, to transport lipid soluble substances, and for insulation of our body are the major functions of the connective tissue. Now let us move forward to the classification of connective tissue. So the classification will be really somewhat new for you. So get ready for classification. So are you following me, students? Are you listening me, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. So now let us move forward to the classification of connective tissue. Okay. So this is the entire classification of connective tissue. So basically, as we already discussed in the previous slide, the same thing is here. So coming to the point. So first one is based upon the cells, and second one is based upon age. So age I will discuss later. First let us focus on the based on cells. So based upon their cells, these are of three types. We have cells, matrix substances, and ground substances, as we discussed in the last lecture in the previous slide. So ground substances include glycoproteins and proteoglycans. Then matrix substances include matrix. When I say matrix, it is fibers. Okay, so the fiber substances include elastic fibers, collagen fibers, and reticular fibers. Okay, so we have elastic fibers, collagen fibers, and reticular fibers. Coming to the cells, we have adipocytes, fibroblasts, mast cells, areolar cells, white blood cells, plasma cells. All these are the cells. By the way, when I say plasma cells, can anyone guess what are plasma cells? Do you have any idea about what are plasma cells? Okay, do you know examples of any plasma cells? Huh?
The plasma is extracted from the blood, no?
Yes, actually plasma cells means they are the cells of blood cells. Blood cells are called as plasma cells. Red blood cells, white blood cells. In the white blood cells, we have B cells. Actually, B cells are called as plasma cells, but usually the blood cells are called as plasma cells. Okay, so this we already know. So this classification we already studied. I hope this is clear for everyone. So based upon cells, we have cells, matrix, and ground substances. What are the three matrix substances we have? Tell me, students. The three fiber substances.
Elastic fibers, collagen fibers, and reticular fibers.
Perfect. Then ground substances?
Like glycoproteins and glycosides.
Proteoglycans. Okay, very good. Then cells you already discussed. Next, coming to the age, depending upon the age of the connective tissue, these are of two types. Now listen to me carefully, students. Very, very important. When I say age, sometimes I want to give you a proper definition. Just a second. Embryonic connective tissue and mature connective tissue. Okay, so when the baby is small, so I'm drawing here a bone. Okay, so this is a bone of a just born baby. When the baby is just born, the bone is not yet calcified. The bones will be not yet calcified. They will have that flexible property. And why baby bones are flexible? Because they don't know how to walk. There is a high chance of getting bone breakage, bone fractures to the babies, because they can't walk and they will have major bone fractures. That is why, in order to compensate that, their bones are already flexible in nature. So even if they're falling down, they won't break their bones. They won't fracture their bones. Then how we can make the bone flexible? How we can make the bone flexible? By simply keeping cartilaginous substances in it. So by keeping cartilaginous substance in it, we can make the bone flexible. But eventually, when the baby becoming adult, the bone will get calcified. So this is a temporary connective tissue. So that temporary connective tissue or the connective tissue which is present in a developing fetus or developing babies, such connective tissue is called as embryonic connective tissue. The connective tissue that is present in the embryo, in the developing baby, such connective tissue is called as embryonic connective tissue. So here we have two types of embryonic connective tissue. One is mesenchymal connective tissue, which is present inside the mucosal membrane, or how can I say, inside the uterus. Inside the placenta and the uterus, the fetus will have mesenchymal connective tissue, and there is a very miracle property of mesenchymal connective tissue. Mesenchymal connective tissue will have many stem cells. It is extensively made up of stem cells, and stem cells are very essential for the developing baby. So stem cells they can proliferate into any type of cell in our body. So embryonic connective tissue includes mesenchymal connective tissue and mucosal connective tissue. Obviously, the baby is suspended in a mucous membrane within the uterus of a pregnant woman, and that mucosal connective tissue. So these are the two types of embryonic connective tissue. So we have mesenchymal connective tissue and we have mucosal connective tissue. If you want to know the actual thing, I need to show you the picture of a developing baby in the uterus. Then you will understand. There is a layer called mesenchymal layer in the zygote, and that mesenchyme is made up of mesenchymal connective tissue. Anyway, I hope the concept is clear for you. Then I'm moving forward to the matured connective tissue. Matured connective tissue is something which is present in the adult child, the child which is greater than 1 year old, or 0 to 1 year old. That child, infants and children will have the matured connective tissue. So coming to the matured connective tissue, this matured connective tissue is further divided into 3 types. Connective tissue which is present on the outer layers of the organs, connective tissue which is in association with skeletal tissue, connective tissue which is in association with blood vessels, vascular tissue. So again, the mature connective tissue are of 3 types: proper connective tissue, skeletal connective tissue, and the vascular connective tissue. Proper connective tissue will present on the outer layers of the organs. Skeletal connective tissue present in association with the bones and the muscles, whereas the vascular connective tissue will present in the blood vessels. Vascular means blood vessels actually. Is that clear for everyone? Students?
Yes, sir.
Are you following me? I know things are going a little bit depth, but okay, please follow me. Okay, so coming to the point. So mature connective tissue, we have 3 types: proper connective tissue, skeletal connective tissue, and the vascular connective tissue. So first let us discuss about the proper connective tissue. Here we already discussed the same term in the epithelial tissue, proper epithelium. Proper epithelium means it is the epithelium which is present on the outer layers of the organs. Similarly, here we have proper connective tissue. When I say proper, it is outer membrane. Okay. Now, where does this proper connective tissue present? So now this proper connective tissue is of 3 types. We have loose proper connective tissue, we have dense proper connective tissue, and we have specialized proper connective tissue. This proper connective tissue is further divided into 3 types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. Coming to the loose connective tissue, they are the cells actually. So they are loosely binded each other. For example, your adipose tissue. Your adipose tissue is a connective tissue that we discussed in the previous slide. So your adipose cells are like a loose connective tissue. They are not firm, they are not compact, they are not tight, they are not rigid, they are only very loose in nature. So such loose connective tissue can be stated as the example for loose connective tissue will be adipocytes. Okay, so adipocytes is the example for loose connective tissue. Coming to the dense connective tissue, this dense connective tissue is as the name suggests, it is dense in nature. That means it is very compact in nature. Okay, it is very rigid in nature. Now This dense connective tissue is further two types: regular dense connective tissue and irregular dense connective tissue. So regular dense connective tissue is seen in tendons and ligaments. Tendons and ligaments are made up of regular dense connective tissue. The best example of tendons and ligaments will be here. So if you stretch your hand like this, you will see tendons here. So this is a tendon, or if you stretch like this, here you will see a tendon. So these are the tendons, okay? So these tendons and ligaments are made up of dense connective tissue. Is that clear for you? So tendons and ligaments are made up of dense connective tissue, regular dense connective tissue. Then coming to the irregular dense connective tissue. Irregular dense connective tissue is present deep inside the bone, students, in the deep fascia and peristomium. Peristomium is the outer layer of the muscle. Outer layer of the muscle. There is a layer of one layer is there on the outer layer, and that layer is called as peristomium. Now I can't show you the pictures. I will show you, okay? Just to get an idea. So peristomium is the outer membrane of the muscle, whereas deep fascia is the internal structure of the bone, where there will be the connection between the muscle and the bone. That is called deep fascia. So this you will understand when we are discussing the muscular tissue. There you will get the meaning of these terms, okay? So dense connective tissue, we have two types: regular dense connective tissue and irregular dense connective tissue. Regular dense connective tissue include tendons and ligaments, whereas irregular dense connective tissue include the peristomium and deep fascia. Other than this, we have a specialized connective tissue that is present in some, it has a special properties, okay? So we have another thing called specialized connective tissue. So these are the types of lining connective tissues or proper connective tissues. So proper connective tissues, we have three types: loose connective tissue, dense and specialized. Loose connective tissue, adipocytes. Dense, we have regular and irregular. Regular, tendons and ligaments, whereas irregular, peristomium and deep fascia. Whereas we have one more special category called specialized connective tissues. Then moving to the second type of connective tissue, which is the skeletal tissue. So the skeletal tissue. So I'm moving forward to the second one, which is the skeletal tissue. Now, the skeletal tissue are broadly two types: smooth skeletal tissue and hard bones. So we have cartilaginous bones and cartilage and bone. So bone itself is a connective tissue, keep in mind. So cartilage and bones are the examples of skeletal tissue, skeletal connective tissue. So coming to the bones, we have two types of bones. We have compact bones and the spongy bones. Compact bones means they are very rigid in nature. Your long bones are made up of compact bones, okay? Whereas spongy bones are present in the periphery of the long bones, or simply spongy bones are also present in your skull. Spongy bones present in your maxilla of your face. So those spongy bones will have air spaces in them. And if you have air spaces in the bones, the weight of the bone will be drastically reduced. So it is like a lightweight spongy bone. So the spongy bones will be lightweight, and they will present in the maxilla. Okay. And another interesting thing about spongy bones is they can extensively filter the blood. They can extensively produce the blood, and blood will exchange near the spongy bone structures. Okay. Okay. So bones are of two types: compact bones and the spongy bones. Coming to the cartilage, we have three types of cartilage in our body, students. We have hyaline cartilage, fibrous cartilage, and calcified cartilage. What is this hyaline cartilage? What is this fibrous cartilage? And what is this calcified cartilage? Hyaline cartilage is something which is present in between synovial joints. In between any two joints, any movable joints, that joints are lined by a tissue, a connective tissue called hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage or hyaline connective tissue. This hyaline connective tissue will present in the synovial joints of our bones. So hyaline cartilage will present in the synovial joints, whereas the fibrous connective tissue is of two types: white fibrous connective tissue and elastic fibrous connective tissue. White fibrous connective tissue will present in the vertebral column, in the intervertebral discs. In between two vertebrae, your white fibrous connective tissue will be present. you can bend your vertebral column, right? If you are bending like this, in between the vertebral bones, you will find the white fibrous connective tissue. Whereas your elastic fibrous connective tissue, okay, elastic fibrous cartilage tissue is present in your ear pinna. So ear pinna is made up of elastic fibrous cartilage material. So your ear pinna is made up of elastic fibrous cartilage connective tissue. Then coming to the calcified connective tissue, I forgot the examples for calcified connective tissue. So that is just like the embryo case. Let me remember that. In the beginning, students, the lungs, there are something called floating lungs. So, but eventually when we are getting age, the lungs will fuse. So in the beginning, lungs, okay, it is called the manubrium of the sternum. So in the beginning, sternum will have three parts. Sternum is the central bony structure where all your costal ribs will be connected. Okay. Now, this sternum is made up of three parts: the body of sternum, the xiphoid process of sternum, and the manubrium of sternum. Between these three parts, they are interconnected by a cartilage substance. But through age, this cartilage will eventually calcify and it will become a single bone. So such type of cartilage bones are called as calcified cartilage bones. In the beginning, they are cartilage in nature, but through age, they will change themselves to the calcium bones. Okay, so they are temporary cartilage bones, I can say. So temporary cartilage bones will be converted to calcium bones. So that is a different. That is the third type of cartilage connective tissue. So calcified cartilage connective tissue. So this is all about the skeletal tissue, students. Skeletal connective tissues. We have cartilaginous substances and bones. Bones include compact bones and spongy bones. Cartilage substances, we have hyaline cartilage, fibrous cartilage, and calcified cartilage. Hyaline cartilage present in between the synovial joints, whereas fibrous cartilage is for the two types: white fibrous cartilage and the elastic fibrous cartilage. White fibrous cartilage will present in between the intervertebral vertebrae, whereas elastic fiber cartilage present in the ear pinna. Last and final is vascular tissues. Sorry. So vascular tissue, vascular connective tissue means this is the connective tissue which is present inside the blood vessels. Vascular means blood vessels. Keep in mind, wherever there will be blood flow, those blood flowing organs are called as vascular tissues. These vascular tissues are of two types: blood and lymph. So to be precise, we used to say that blood is a fluid connective tissue. To be precise, blood is a fluid, vascular, mature connective tissue. Blood is a fluid, vascular, mature connective tissue. Okay, blood and lymph are the examples for vascular connective tissue. So that's it. All you need to do is you must memorize, you need to by heart this particular table. Now in the textbook, what they will do is they will discuss in detail about each and everything in this table. They will discuss about the role of plasma cells, role of adipocytes, role of fibroblasts, role of elastic fibers, role of collagen fibers, role of reticular fibers. They will discuss about the role of glycoproteins, proteoglycans, and they will start discussing about loose connective tissue, the functions of regular dense connective tissue, what are tendons, what are. So if we explain each and every part, each and everything means that will be this question. Even I can ask this question for 20 marks also. So if I asking for 5 marks, then you can classify it and you can give examples. If I'm asking this for 10 marks, then you need to write 2 to 3 pages answer. If I'm asking this for 20 marks, then you should write at least 4 pages answer. Everything is there in this table only. All you need to do is you need to by heart this table and this starting slide, this one. So first you need to write the definition of the connective tissue. Then you should write the 3 ground substances of connective tissue. Then you should write any 4 functions of connective tissue. Then you can proceed with the classification. Is this connective tissue clear for everyone? Somewhat depth it seems.
Yes,
Everyone silent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Still, I made the concept simple, students. The topic itself is somewhat hard. Okay. Even I tried my level best to summarize in a single page, but okay, you must work hard. Okay. From your side also you must hard. From my side, I try my level best to explain. Okay. So yeah. So the same story in different, but the same tables. Okay. Yeah. So this is the picture of different types of connective tissue. So this is how the areolar connective tissue looks like. This is the picture of adipose connective tissue. This is fibrous. This is elastic. And I have given in detail examples also. Fibrous tissue include ligaments, kidney, lymph nodes. Elastic tissues present in trachea, bronchioles, then ear pinna, blood vessels, lungs. Sorry. Areolar connective tissue present in the neurons, in between muscles. Then yeah. So connective tissue is like a complex material, students. It's not a single tissue. It is a group of many tissues. So here I have kept a picture with all types of connective tissue. Here you can see reticular connective tissue. Here you can see collagen fibers, fixed macrophages, mast cells, plasma cells. You can see mesenchymal cells. You can see adipocytes. So it's a combination of all cells. So connective tissue is a large, a complicated system, a complicated tissue in our body. So it is not a single material. It is a combination of various types of cells, ground substances, matrix proteins, everything. Okay. So basically, connective tissue is the tissue where everything is binded. It is something which is giving the platform for all the things to bind. So it is just like it's like a sand and concrete. Only with these we can bind the bricks and we can start building the houses. So all cells are bound to this connective tissue. So I have given a brief pictures of everything, but you just refer some textbooks and write proper notes for this. Okay. And also one interesting thing, when you are drawing the pictures for any tissues or cells, kindly purchase hematoxylin and eosin pencils. Hematoxylin and eosin pencils are available in the market. I don't know whether I will show you my record here. So hematoxylin and eosin pencils must be used for drawing these tissues. I will show you one of mine. Wait. Yeah. So okay. So this is a picture which is drawn by hematoxylin and eosin pencils. So hematoxylin means it is a blue color pencil, whereas eosin is a slight pink color pencil. Actually, this will be available in all types of stationery shops. If you go and ask them hematoxylin and eosin pencil, they will provide you. And only with these pencils, you must draw the pictures actually in the records. Okay. Basically, we will stain these tissues with this hematoxylin and eosin dyes. Hematoxylin dye will be same color like this pencil, this blue color, and eosin will be in this pink color. And they are readily available in the market. So try to draw the pictures with hematoxylin and eosin pencils. Okay, that will give very nice impression to see the pictures. Okay, this we can see later. Anyway, so that is all about the connective tissue. Shall I move forward to the next topic, which is muscular tissue? Okay, so first we will.
No, sir.
Yeah, I do think maybe in the next class we will finish muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Okay, it will be too much heavy for you because I know that nervous tissue is again depth actually. Now, muscular tissue is very simple. You have only 3 muscles. Okay, you have the skeletal muscular tissue, you have the smooth muscular tissue and cardiac muscular tissue. It's just a single table. It's a difference between 3 muscles. It's a simple table. Okay, and anyway, I will do a quick revision of epithelial tissue and connective tissue, and we can say goodbye for today's class. Okay, so yeah, let us do revision of today's lecture. So so far we finished 2 tissues in our body. So first we discussed about the epithelial tissue, then we discussed about the connective tissue. So coming to the epithelial tissue we broadly divided depending upon the shape and the arrangement. Depending upon the shape, we have 5 types of epithelial cells. We have squamous epithelial cells, cuboidal epithelial cells, columnar, ciliated and transitional. Whereas the examples for each cells is squamous present in the skin, mouth and blood vessels, cuboidal present in the salivary glands, columnar present in the stomach, ciliator present in the trachea and the lungs, whereas the transitional epithelium will present in the urinary bladder and uterus. Whereas depending upon the arrangement, these epithelial cells are of two types: single layer cells and the multi-layered. Single layers is called a simple epithelium, whereas a multiple layer is called stratified epithelium. So simple epithelium, we have given names like squamous epithelium, simple squamous epithelium, simple cuboid epithelium, simple columnar, simple ciliated, and transitional. Then whereas a stratified, similar name: stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar, stratified ciliated. Then we have a false stratified epithelium, which is called a pseudo-stratified epithelium, and we have given the examples of each and every epithelium also. Then other than this, in the squamous epithelium, this squamous epithelial tissue is further divided depending upon the presence or absence of keratin. So if the cells have keratin, then it is called keratinized squamous epithelium, which is skin, nail, and hairs, whereas non-keratinized are the previous examples which we discussed. If you want even more examples, I have given an elaborated classification here with more examples, their locations, everything. So you can refer this also. Okay. Then we move forward to the this one, the connective tissue. So in the connective tissue, first you must write the definition of connective tissue. So connective tissue is something which will bind the different organs or separate organs in our body. It will the major functions of connective tissue are: it will give the binding and structural support. It will act as a protection. It will provide protection. It will transport the fat soluble substances, and also it will act as an insulating material. And we have three types of ground substances, or three types of materials of connective tissue. We have ground substances such as glycoproteins, proteoglycans, fibers such as collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and reticular fibers, and cells such as mast cells, areolar cells, adipocytes, and the fibroblasts. So then we discussed in detail about the depending upon their age. So depending upon the age, the connective tissue is further divided into two types: embryonic connective tissue and mature connective tissue. Embryonic connective tissue, we have mesenchymal connective tissue and the mucosal connective tissue. Whereas the mature connective tissue, we have proper connective tissue, skeletal connective tissue, and the vascular connective tissue. In the proper, this is the connective tissue which will be present on the outer membranes of the organs, which include loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and the specialized connective tissue. So loose connective tissue include adipocytes, alveolar cells, and reticular cells. Whereas dense connective tissue, we have regular and irregular. Regular is tendons and ligaments, whereas irregular is peristomia and deep fascia. And we have specialized connective tissue. Coming to the skeletal connective tissue, we have cartilaginous bones and the bones. Bones, we have compact bone and a spongy bone. Whereas cartilage substances, we have three types: hyaline cartilage, fibrous cartilage, and the calcified cartilage. Fibrous cartilage are further two types: white fibrous cartilage and the elastic fibrous cartilage. White fibrous cartilage will present in the intervertebral discs, whereas the elastic fibrous cartilage present in the ear pinna. Then calcified cartilage, it is a temporary cartilaginous bone. Then vascular connective tissue, we have blood and lymph. This is all about the connective tissue. So in my next class, we can move forward to the muscular tissue. Okay. So thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. Let me download the attendance.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any feedback, students? Is anatomy and physiology tough? Actually, I'm trying to make it simple. Okay. Do I need to change anything?
No, sir.
Nothing, right? See, students, in each and every class, I'm taking revision. Even if you just attend the class, that is enough for you to by heart the class, the topic. Actually, in every class, I will take revision. Only after revision, I'm moving to the next topic. So be attentive in classes. Okay. Please join in regular classes and please write the written notes. I hope everyone writing their written notes when I'm taking classes. So kindly continue the same. Okay. Then only you can easily understand. And from next week onwards, I will provide you the weekend assignments, and please start writing notes also. Most probably by this weekend, we must finish these 4 tissues. If we finish these 4 tissues, then we have only 2 shorter topics, which is the cell division and the functions of cell. Actually, I forgot to discuss functions of cells. That is very simple. You already know that. By this weekend, we will finish unit 1. Okay. So we will try our level best to finish unit 1, because we have the culprit, which is unit 5. In the unit 5, we have so much syllabus. In order to cover that unit 5, we must speed up now itself. So that's why I was doing these things. Okay. So thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. You can leave.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.